Thursday.
Thursday.
Jesus.
Welcome to JD. We're happy to have you back as always.
Happy to be here.
And we have an Alex here tonight. Woo! Super exciting.
I'm super excited to know that he's here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna test you. JD.
About the minerality. Can you tell me about the minerality?
JD,
How do you say that? Because we are going to have one of those wines tonight.
I'm really into,
swear to God.
really into loam soils.
Of course, we have Christy here tonight because she hasn't left on her boat yet. Yay. And tonight we have a special guest. This is Liz. Liz has been on the tastings, almost all of them, I think, virtually. First from New Hampshire, and then recently she moved to Montana. So she's always checking us out from afar. But we went to college together.
I was going to say, did you say New Hampshire, then Montana, and now she's in Florida? So it's like the triangular?
I'm just happy she moved to Montana so I could sing that Frank Zappa song.
I'm a dental floss tycoon.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's
I'm getting
So anyway, so you guys, just so you know, I'm not on here yet. I don't know who's on. Oh yeah, we got some people on. Okay, yeah, Joe's here, Andrea's here.
Hi, Andrea.
Karen's here, and Jean and Steve are here. Oh, reporting from Sarasota with their Ohioan.
You gotta say it. How you say it?
Ohioan friends.
I used to say it to them as OH, and they'll say IO.
No.
Oh my God,
You know
Ohio,
that?
Joe?
I didn't know that.
No.
Oh my God, you don't know that?
No.
People go like that, like you're like, oh, you're from Ohio. Oh, you're from Ohio. OH. And they go, IO.
Ew.
Oh, that's so nerdy.
True story.
So anyway, you guys, this is Liz. She's my smart friend that I talk about. She's She's a jewelry maker. She's an awesome chef. She's super cool. And we have her jewelry in here. So she's going to talk about that. Not right now because we want to get drinking wine. But if you guys stick around at the end, we'll maybe show a couple pieces and you can tell them about your jewelry. Okay. Sound good? Let's drink wine first.
Or if you find a wine that really moves you to a certain piece of jewelry, we can do that too. Okay. You just let me know.
A jewelry pairing.
I like
Jewelry
that.
pairing. This wine makes me feel like this. No, okay. All right. Yeah.
You can taste the turquoise in this one.
The minerality.
Yeah.
That would be something new. So.
Okay, so anyway, that's I think that's a good enough introduction here. So JD, take it.
All right. So we're going to start with a very eccentric wine. The wine is actually called Lugana, is the type of wine that is called. Lugana is actually a Trebbiano. Trebbiano is a cool little grape. It is actually the most widely planted white grape in the world now, officially. If you've ever had cognac, Armagnac, it is actually Trebbiano is one of the bases for it. So Trebbiano is something they use everywhere from France to Italy to Spain. We do use it domestically here as well. But we wanted to show you a really cool wine. This is actually from a winery called Ricchi. Ricchi makes this wonderful style of Lugana. Lugana is just one of those interesting things because they go from really fruit forward and kind of super playful to very complex and oak aged. So what we wanted to do was find you something that was kind of in the middle of that. This wine here is somewhere right in the middle because it is got that beautiful fruit component to it, but it's got a little bit of minerality to it. That's for Alex. True story. When I said we were going to talk about minerality, we were. This white really has that minerality. If you're familiar with Sancerre, Sancerre is a Sauvignon Blanc with a little bit of limestone quality. The area that this is from has that limestone quality to it. It has that little bit of a little twanginess to it in the back palate, and makes this wine a little bit more reserved. I'll say that in the fact of the flavor of it. It's going to be playful on the front, but still reserved on the back. It's kind of, if we really want to joke around, it's kind of like a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. Okay?
Definitely.
I'm sorry. As I was saying it, it came to me. But that's what it is. It really is. It's got this wonderful, beautiful, fresh fruit on it. What?
I agree.
No, it's grapefruit.
I mean this in a good way, but it almost tastes like flat champagne.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see what you're saying.
Not in a bad way, in a good way.
Well, okay.
You know?
All right. So let me tell you a little secret, okay? A little secret to champagne. Now, true champagne, if it's from Champagne region, and I'm not sure, Liz, you might have tasted something else different if you've gone to a restaurant because everyone classifies things as champagne. Trebbiano is the #1 grape for non-true champagnes into sparkling bubbles from France. They use this as one of those things. That's why I said it's the most widely played grape. I guarantee you, if you've ever had a white wine, you've had Trebbiano. I promise you. You really, really have. The cool part about this is this one is a little bit more site specificity. It's got a much bigger character than some of the widely planted grapes out there. That's why we wanted to do it. It was something fun. Cool little label. Lugana with the name. No, not many people are really as familiar with this. If you like Pinot Grigio, I know everyone likes my verbiage of patio pounder. This is your patio pounder with a little bit of let's go aristocrat or a little bit of character to it. That's what it really, really is. I like this wine for multiple different reasons. For fish, great. By itself, perfect. A friend, take 2 bottles. But I'm not sure exactly what you paired it with. So what kind of cheese did you pair it with?
What did you pair it with?
Okay. The pairing, you guys, is right there in the corner, top left corner.
Okay.
The cheese is the Ponce de Leon Vino Cabra. So it is a goat cheese, and they call it soft, but it's not like the really creamy. It's more semi-soft, I think. And it's made with red wine, which I thought was really odd to pair with this wine, the white wine. But I don't know why. I just thought that it really went well together. The red wine and the cheese is very minimal. It just gives it like a little bit of different depth of flavor, I think. So
Is there rosemary in that?
no, but there's rosemary right next to it.
Oh, it makes it taste amazing.
The
Yeah,
rose,
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I made Kate clip the rosemary in the garden because it was blocking the young tomatoes from growing.
The young tomatoes.
And those tomatoes, man.
Our
I
little,
like this. We have cross contamination. Perfect. I like it.
our
We're
little portion.
infusing the cheese with rosemary.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
it's
Yummy.
really good.
I like
Good
that.
pairing.
Well, I'm trying to read. The pairing is great. Love the patio pounder. All right, Steve. Steve's on it right now. So, one of the fun parts about a Lugana is, if you've ever had one, when I said they get really fruity, they always have this little bit of stone fruit. When I'm talking about stone fruit, I'm talking about kind of peaches, apricots, even pears in certain aspects, maybe a little bit of white or green plum. But this one, I think, has got that little bit of almost like nectarine, and then it finishes with that minerality, Alex, like we were talking about. I like this wine a lot. I mean, it really has good character to it, and it's not one of a weak and flaccid wine that is just not going to have anything to it. It actually has some sustenance to it, which is really amazing. I'm really a big fan of this winery itself. Ricchi is a 6th generation winemaking, and they do a fantastic job. They do a Chardonnay out of there as well, and a Cab Franc, Cab Blend, which I hope to do possibly next time. That is absolutely fantastic. I think that one of the things that people are seeing with winemaking, especially out of Italy, that they're actually coming to New World style. when you hear me say New World to Old World, New World has got a little bit more of a fruit compositive to it, and Old World's got that earthy tone. We're gonna go a little bit on both sides tonight. So just one of those things. I just kind of, you know me. I always go off on tangents, right, Christy?
Yeah.
So JD, I like the way this one has the party up front. No,
Party up front.
the party up front for this one. It's like the opposite of a mullet. The party up front, the business in the back.
Oh.
So the beaver.
I like
The reverse mullet.
I don't think I like the mullet approach to wine. So, I like the way it finishes is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I got you. I'm a visual learner. I learn that way a little bit differently than others. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that this wine is absolutely fantastic in that aspect. If you try this with seafood, you'll be absolutely amazed.
Awesome. Good choice.
All right.
Good, JD.
Good start. All right.
Is this the next one?
So we're going to move on to extraction. Am I correct?
Yeah, man.
That's not.
So we're going to go on to extraction Chardonnay. Extraction Chardonnay is all about the name. Extracting the best quality that you can out of it. The designation on this is California. And the reason is because they've used a couple different areas to be able to keep the price affordable to people. Thank you, Alex. Extraction, by doing so, they bring this wine to the affordable masses. A lot of Chardonnays, if you go straight Napa or Sonoma, Russian River, something like that, the Chardonnays get really absorbently expensive nowadays. And if you think they're bad now, after the last couple of years, wait about a year or two. These prices are really going to jump after everything that's going on in California.
Wait, Liz's brother is on going. Anybody know where I can get a spiritual reading? There was some guy on here, like some guy going, message me for your spiritual reading. Message me. I was like trying to delete all his messages, and I tried to hide him. But Ian, I don't know how you can find him. So,
ask him if he can read my aura, please.
Don't encourage him, JD.
oh my God.
Tell Ian my mood ring broke, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I think he can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, JD. It's just funny that the hacker was like going to everyone. Message me.
Well, what's funny is like I can see. I try to read stuff on the side, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on over here? Can I get a spiritual reading?" I was like, "Okay." I'm not sure exactly how to respond to that.
Yeah, that's not us.
What do you call an interloper and it's not a hacker. There's like a word for it.
Troll.
Troll.
Oh, it's a
Troller. Yeah, there you go. It's
Dylan says I see wine in your spiritual future.
I'm feeling a Chardonnay in your future, okay?
So back to the Chardonnay.
Yes, sir. Extraction Chardonnay. This is actually a blend, like we were talking about. If with the prices of wines and how they are when you get to designations like Russian River, Sonoma, Napa Valley, this California one is fantastic for the reason they take the best of those regions and they blend them together from different regions. It's kind of like fusions of food. How I would describe it to people is sometimes, if you've ever had, Asian and Southern cooking fused together, they're really awesome. Why the extraction is like that is because they've taken a lot of the malolactic fermentation where you're taking acetic acid and turning it into malolactic acid. So that buttery flavor that you get, they've taken that and they've given you that with a beautiful expression, little hints of pineapple and tropical notes to it. Still having that fresh oak exposure to where it sees oak, but it's not like chewing on a piece of bark. I like it because it does that. It's balanced all the way throughout it. You've heard me say balanced a lot. One of my favorite words for wines is balanced. We all know that I'm an ABC, anything but Chardonnay. This, if I'm drinking Chardonnay, this is right up my alley. This is something that has good expression of all the characteristics that it should have. And I don't feel that it's done in any aspect one way too far. Like I said, sometimes you feel like you're chewing on a tab of butter. Sometimes you feel like you're chewing on a piece of oak with Chardonnay, or, there's just not a lot going on. I think this has got some nice complexity to it. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Extraction. Go ahead, Alex.
I was just going to say, I love it on the nose. I think I've gotten to a point, though, with Chardonnays where I don't like any oak at all.
Yeah. Well, so JD and I had a conversation about this because you and us, all of our customers, this is what we go for all the time. And we've had a lot of really, really nice, crisp, clean Chardonnays.
Yeah, like stillware or concrete.
But, there are people that like the oak Chardonnay.
This is very good.
I didn't want to go like all the way in, but we're like, let's take like a little baby step and try like a little different,
This is different for us. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that was the whole point.
Yeah. Point taken.
Okay, good. We did it.
See, that's what it is. Like Kate's saying, we were trying to take a little bit of a baby step and kind of, say, look, there are good Chardonnays out there, and at the same time, they don't have to be $50, $75 to be able to get a good quality one. I know that a lot of times right now, people are get overbeared by the way that it's approached to them with the styles of wines. And I think that this is one that's a good introduction for back to a I don't want to call it a classic style Chardonnay, but a traditional style Chardonnay, in all honesty. 80s and 90s, the Chardonnays had a good balance to them at the same time. And then, at the end of that period, a lot of times they were like, okay, well, people really like oaky. They really like buttery. Well, they went so far that way that it was so alarmingly off-putting to a lot of people that the normal consumer of Chardonnay really died. And it was really sad. I mean, that's why I was always an ABC person, is because, you taste them and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
There's so much. Like I say, balance is everything with wine. Balance is everything with wine, with life, anything. I like this one because I think it gives you just a little bit, and it's a good entry level to be able to show that.
Hey, JD, can we pause for a second?
Sure.
Because some people with the charcuterie are confused on the cheese, and I want you to help me show them. Oh. Can we show them this plate so that they can see?
Yes.
So this one has been, devoured halfway by Alex already. But
good job, brother.
So I don't know if you can see this. So hold on, let me take these up. This is the first cheese. That's the Vino Cabra. Yeah, you can hold it up.
So that was the one with the
kind of purple
line
rind
in it.
Yeah. And then the spreadable white cheese next to it, that's the number 2. That's the Le Bon V Chante. It's goat cheese and herbs. That's what we paired with the Chardonnay. And then this is number 3. Christy, can you hold that? Number 3. Okay. And then number 4 is like little white cubes. It's got the espresso. That's the espresso cheese. And then the last one she can't pick up. It's another spreadable. It's in the middle. It's like orange and red. And that's a port. So anyway, sorry about that, but I'm getting lots of questions. So yeah, that's easier. So the cheese for the Chardonnay is Le Bon V Chante, and that is the it's a spread. Me twice. It's the spreadable goat cheese with garlic and herbs, and so that goes with the Chardonnay.
Okay.
I love this cheese.
So JD, what you're saying about this Chardonnay is kind of a throwback to before everybody went.
Before everyone went so haywire and went so far right or left, and not politically saying that, but just far in one direction or the other. And I think that, trying to have something that has got a midline or a balance to it is absolutely quintessential.
Yeah,
cheese is good.
that pairing is
Wow.
really good. That
Yeah.
Chardonnay, I have to say, I didn't like it on the nose because I thought it was a little too musty for me.
Okay. All right.
But tasting it, I was like, oh, this is good.
I love
Nice
the pairing,
and smooth.
Kate. You did,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
nailed
the
it.
pairing
Yeah.
is really nice too.
Oh, good.
It makes me like the wine a lot more.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
That garlic in the
Yeah.
wine. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect pairing.
it's
Excellent.
It's good.
Gold star.
I mean,
Gold star.
this one.
All right.
yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
What was cool about that one?
Karen wants to know, what am I getting on the finish? I can't place it.
On this finish, what to me on this wine, you get a little bit of butterscotch almost. And a lot of times that finish is a little bit of that kind of, it does spend time in steel and oak. And a lot of times when you get that, you get a little bit of the lingering on the finish of both. So it's like a steely wood. And I mean, to me, that's what I get off of this wine. But I mean, everyone tastes something a little different, but that's what I would go with.
Well, I like that. I never could have pinpointed butterscotch, but now that you say it, I get like a slight hint of that, and I like that. Good.
Well, I say butterscotch, and the reason I don't say that when I'm talking about descriptors with a wine is people always think about the butterscotch candy that you were like, it's like, it was the old man at church that used to give it to you, you know what I mean, when you're growing up as a kid.
Dude, that's my husband.
Or was that just me in South Texas? But I mean, that's what happened to us, and so I didn't want people to throw back to that, but there is butterscotch definitely on this one. Absolutely.
That's good. I like it.
That's a good one.
I really like it.
So JD, so they're sourcing these grapes just all over California. Is that the deal?
No, no. That's what that's what I said. This is, and then we got distracted with a couple of things, but this is actually a little bit of Sonoma, Lake County, on this, and then you have a little bit of Amador as well. To be a little bit more specific.
Good stuff. Good choice.
Yeah, and see when you see stuff that everyone always looks at the label and they say California and it says that it may be a lesser quality of wine, especially nowadays. Maybe 10, 15 years ago that was true. A lot of times what they're doing right now is trying to give you the best quality they can because such a different deviation of character and believe it or not, the way that the weather's been out in California, it really does change from county to county so much. I mean, that's why they have so many designations now. ADAs,
really over the past 5-10 years, especially the last, probably 5 or 10, I guess. Like with the changes, and I imagine that's changing everything and everything everybody thought they knew about what grows well where, and throw some wildfires on top of it.
Right.
Good luck.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was like 10 years ago, they were in Dry Creek. It was basically nothing but Merlot or Zinfandel. And now they're like, wait a minute, Cabernet does extremely well here. When you talk about that, I mean, we could have just a class just to geek out on, the soils, the terroir, the weather, how it changes, and just getting into something like that about having good, bad soil. But I mean, there really are some amazing changes. And what's funny is, just like the earth changes a little bit, so does all the growing climates as well. And we change it a little bit, and then we find new ways to affect the wines and do the right thing without manipulating them so much.
That's
after the harvest.
That's hard work.
Yeah, I know. One of my friends, he's like, he's a winemaker and a wine grower, and he does everything from A to B. And he's like, look, I'm double thinking my decision. I was like, no, man, your wines are fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. Really amazing time to be alive for our industry. So,
yeah.
So wait, Joe is saying that's a great idea for a tasting, JD. What's a good
Wine 101. Basically my idea is for people is to taste Wine 101. I think Wine 101 is teach people how to taste. It's something that I do with a lot of restaurants. I do staff trainings. A lot of people don't understand a lot of the ways to actually look at a wine and be able to taste a wine, be able to, figure out where it's from just by looking at it, or the alcohol, the glycerin style to it. I like to do it. you know what, Joe? You know what? Maybe we'll come up with that. I'll try to bring you some wines, Kate, that we can maybe do that with. Okay.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
That's a good idea.
That would be the one. Remember how we talked about me being there for one?
Yeah.
That would be one that I would probably need to be there for because it's definitely something that you have to be able to see what I'm doing too.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Well, we'll chat about that.
But Alex, that means that you got to be there too, by the way.
All right, I'll bring my vaccine card.
All right. So we're on the red. All right.
Yeah.
So we got the, my wife wants to make sure that I show that I have a little dachshund wine cup that I'm drinking from because we have a Chihuahua dachshund. She
That's
says it's a
adorable.
moral imperative. Okay.
We love dogs.
Oh, absolutely. So the first one we have is the Barbera de Asti. When it comes to Barbera, there are two main regions that people really know Barbera from Italy from, and this is Barbera de Asti or Barbera de Alba. I'm going to go with the latter one first because that's not the one we're talking about today, but I just want to give you some character. Alba has a little bit more grippiness. It's got a little bit more kind of earthy toned, a little bit more rustic style, where Asti, the one that we're drinking tonight, is going to have this beautiful fresh fruit and have this wonderful little cherry to it. It's very playful. At the same time, it's all about how they oak age it as well. This is Bonfante Carlo. Bonfante Carlo. Christy, will you show the bottle for me if you can?
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Barbera de Asti here. Just so you know what it looks like if you need to go grab one. But Barbera's got this rich kind of cherryness to it. And it's definitely black cherry, kind of a little bit of like savory kind of earthiness at the same time. Like I said, Alba is definitely more earthy, but the Bonfante Carlo is kind of a beautiful blend of those two. The reason I say that is because it's got this little amazing quality that on the back end with the wood exposure that this gets. This is 12 months, 12 months in oak, but you definitely taste the oak on it.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. That's why I pointed to y'all, but as I realized my finger was a little low. But yeah, you definitely get the oak exposure on this. The reason it is because they use 60% new oak. In a wine like this, to have 60% new oak is kind of rare. And
60% sorry?
60.
60% new oak.
New oak.
Oh, new oak. Okay, got you.
New oak. A lot of times, because the more new oak you get in a wine, the price exponentially grows. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of how much an oak barrel costs. They range depending on what type of oak, new to old, first or tertiary uses. They can range anywhere. I mean, anywhere from like $1,500 to about $6,000.
Wow.
Yeah, for the wood.
Good to know.
That's a good little business to have. Those barrels.
What do you do? I sell wine barrels.
Well, I mean,
Okay, this is the funny thing, and I'm sorry, but when Liz said this, all these wine barrels, they get reused in multiple senses. Okay, they get used when I said primary or first use oak, then you get tertiary, and then what they call it, from there on, it's secondary. And I know secondary sounds funny; it should become second, but they call it tertiary, secondary, and then they use these for liquors.
so char them, right? Like,
Yeah, they rechar them. They basically have a giant flamethrower, and you have different levels of char that they put in them. And they use them for liquors. Then the liquor companies a lot of times will send them to beer companies and use them. So that's one of the things that
maple syrup companies. I've had Pappy Van Winkle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maple syrup
Yeah.
from old Pappy barrels.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
once they get used all the way throughout, then they try to find stuff. You'll see them a lot of times end up in wine shops, restaurants, cool places like that. And the only time you see that, I guarantee you that barrel that you see has been used at least 10, 15 times, which is kind of cool. But we'll get back to the Barbera. Sorry, when Liz said that, I was like, look, I got to talk about the barrels at the same time. But this Barbetta's got that great oak exposure that is just got a nice overall balance to it. The wood really calms this wine down. A lot of cherry.
Yeah. It's I think it's wonderful. I could.
So JD, I keep telling people every time we have a Barbera, I'm like, oh my God, I love Barbera. I used to hate it. I don't understand what's happening. We talked about it, and I was mentioning that they used to be too floral tasting to me. And you were saying that maybe that was the Alba.
Yeah, the Alba style actually it tends to have a little bit more of a floral characteristic, and it's more towards blue flowers. People get floral from different aspects, and when it's blue flowers, you sometimes get that from Malbecs as well. You get
That's I don't like Malbec either, but now I do. I didn't realize that. Yeah. So okay, really, because we're gonna have a Malbec
very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's crazy. Okay.
But you guys have heard me talk when we had a Pinot Noir before about how Pinot Noir and goat cheese are a great pairing. Barbera and goat cheese are too as well. Barbera not.
I didn't.
I know that's not what we paired. I know that's not what we paired, but I'm gonna let people know that it's just one of the things that is kind of a little secret. It's kind of weird. Barbera's always been traditionally paired with a little bit of a harder cheese. But if you've never had it, or if you get a chance to try it with goat cheese, you'll be amazed at the flavors that come out in both aspects. Not just the wine, but the cheese. It will change both completely.
So it'd be interesting to try it. Alex is trying it with the Vino Cabra, which is goat cheese. It's the one with the red wine infused. The cheese that I did pair it with for today is the Thomasville Tom.
Let's see.
That one.
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Oh, you guys didn't get it. Give them that one. Remember, that's the one that I ran.
Sorry, Alex. You have to share.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I love the Thomasville Tom.
I feel like the Thomasville Tom is a little bit difficult cheese for me to pair with, so I don't use it as much as some of the cheeses are just easy. They go with kind of everything. I feel like Thomasville Tom is a little more particular, but it is kind of a harder cheese, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's not like quite as sharp as like a cheddar. It doesn't have as much going on as a Parmesan. I mean, it's good, but it's just
I'll say
it's a little more particular.
I think it's a little prima donna-ish.
It's a little prima donna-ish, Liz says.
Well, no, it's
Prima donna-ish. Okay.
Well, Mary says this is our favorite pairing so far.
Oh,
awesome.
Good.
I was going to say I'm going to go with JD on the goat cheese pairing.
Oh, yeah,
really?
Let's
Okay,
try
let's try that.
Definitely try it. If you've never tried it, I mean, what's funny is everyone, like, for so many years, people were so against goat cheese, and it's really had, like, this up and coming over the past, like, 10, 12 years. I really love goat cheese. I think it's fantastic to be able to use as an accent, and if it's a predominant flavor, it can be overpowering. But with wines like this, fantastic.
Fantastic. Totally changes the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We just tried it with the
Vino Cabra.
Vino Cabra.
Vino Cabra.
You know me and my accents.
Yes.
It's the goat one.
OH.
Ayo!
There you go. We learned it today. So I thought it was funny. I actually saw that Steve had put, the guy with the Werthers. I finally got the chance to read some of the comments on the side about the butterscotch. And he goes, like the guy with the Werthers originals at the front of the church. So
Yeah,
I'm with you, Steve.
in my pockets, my grandfather.
My granddad always had the chewable ones.
Oh, the chewy ones?
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, we had the hard
I
ones.
don't know what brand that was, but they were delicious.
My husband keeps a candy dish in his office full of
The chewables or
Werthers.
Werthers?
The Werthers.
All right, that's my cue to go. I got to go. Be good.
Later, dude.
Later. No. Just because now I feel bad. But I mean, everyone, at least growing up in South Texas, we always had that guy at the front of the church for the kids.
Okay.
And it's either peppermint or butterscotch.
I've forgotten you're from, like where in South Texas, JD?
Corpus Christi and San Antonio.
Oh, right.
I was born in Corpus Christi, raised in San Antonio. School at UT.
I was in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Stephenville for a hot second.
I love the areas. So everyone always says, I hated Houston. That's the only place I've ever been. And I was in the airport, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been in an airport in many states, but I'm not going to judge a state by an airport. So.
Hey, listen, Texas, I didn't learn U.S. history because I was in Texas.
You learned Texas history.
To 4th grade, and Texas is the only history there is. So, yeah.
All that matters. All right.
Listen, in the mornings, you know how you guys said the pledge? Well, I think we said the pledge, but then we also sang Texas, our Texas. So,
True story. I'm not going to get into that any further because then I'm going to have political stuff over here on the side. But
let's drink the Malbec.
All right,
let's drink the Malbec. So we got Don G Malbec, Don Genaro Malbec. I had the illustrious time of being able to go to Argentina about a year and a half ago. It was fantastic. I really loved Argentina. Actually, it's almost 2 years ago now. Argentina is absolutely beautiful. And one of the things you got to know about Argentinian wines, everyone always thinks is Malbecs is what everyone drinks there. It's not true. It's about Cabernet when you're there. They love Cabernet, but they know what grows best in their region, which is Malbec. There you go. Malbec, the Don G. So I call it the Don G. I apologize. Don Genaro. But you have so much Italian influence, Italian and German influence in Argentina after World War II, which makes it very interesting on their stylistic of winemaking. They're very true into like digging in. They like to dig big holes like Calcutta. They'll dig like a 6-foot deep hole so that they can see the different layers of soil. And they are very big on planting the certain different clones of even Malbec or Cabernet or Gewürztraminer, anything in certain areas. What I like about Don G is silky and sexy. At the same time, it's a true testament to Malbec. Malbec has those blue flowers a lot of times, like we were talking about, Kate. You know, this one is a little bit more subtle. This is more like a Pinot Noir drinker Malbec. It's soft. It's elegant. It's playful. It's going to be really elegant across the palate. And instead of just being this kind of blueberry and blackberry kind of bramble fruit, punch you in the face style Malbec, it's got elegance. My favorite part about it, because it is absolutely a different style of Malbec. I don't want to call it the gateway Malbec, but it's kind of that way. And that's what everyone always called Pinot Noir and Zinfandel for years for red wines, is because it was something that was approachable. Don G is just that. It's approachable, it's soft, and then at the back end, it's got that little bit of grippiness to it that you come to expect from it. Malbecs to me are one of those wines that do really well with like barbecue.
I want ribs with this. I want like smoky, charred ribs. That's what I want.
I mean, I don't even eat ribs, and I'm like, yeah.
So, JD, how would you compare this to the one I know you're absolutely familiar with? It. You may have been there when you went down. I think it's Catania or
Catania. Okay. Well, it depends on which Catania you're talking about. Catania has different wineries. Now, Catania was really it was Alejandro Virgil is the winemaker there now, and Ernesto Catania and Paul Hobbs really brought that in. And yeah, you're right. I am definitely cross-trained on these wines. Catania, if you're talking about the Vista Flores, they have a couple different ones. They have the Catania Malbec, which is just Mendoza designation. And then
this is a Mendoza Malbec as well, right?
Yeah, it is Mendoza, but the trick about it is I think that if you're comparing it to Catena regular Mendoza Malbec is a little bit bolder, more towards the blue fruits and flowers, like we were talking about before about traditional style Malbec. Now the Vista Flor is what they made, and it's actually a little bit slightly higher elevated in fruit on the elevation in Argentina, because you have so many rolling mountains. I mean, you got the Andes there, and I will tell you, if you ever go and you go across the Andes Mountains, you will have your stomach come up in your throat a little bit. It's a little drop going straight over, but compared to it is closer to the Vista Florida Malbec than it is the regular Catena Malbec. The reason I say that is this does have a little bit of elevation on where they're growing it at. Yeah. And I like that because it makes it that softer side. When you get into the valley floor of Mendoza, you get some real hard. There, like I said, we were talking about wine on 101. You want to have good, bad soil for wines, and in that valley floor, it is basically rock, and then there's nothing underneath it. And so the wine gets, the vines get some beautiful water, but it doesn't have a lot of those other nutrients, and it doesn't have that time to get a balance. It's got to strive real hard. So a little bit further up in elevation, you get a little bit of that loam soil, you get a little bit of that sand, and you get a nice balance. And that's where this kind of wine comes from.
Well, I told you when we started.
Oh God, here we go.
Soils.
The what?
And so with Mendoza, you could have elevation changes, like in that region. As much as 1,000 feet, or like, what are we talking about?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mendoza, Valle de Uco, Luan de Cuyo, you have huge elevation changes. I mean, we went over mountains that were, 2,600 feet of elevation. We were in a car. I flew over mountains in the Andes, and you're just like, oh my God. And there's so much. And you know what? Because it is such a big industry, they're trying to use almost about everything that they can that is, let's put it, applicable. And you can taste differences in a lot of the wines. And that's what I think. I think you get – I want to see – Argentina came on real strong, let's say about 10 years ago with Malbec, okay? Right. And then I think that you're going to see right now from Argentina, a lot what's coming out of Argentina that is really strong is Cab Franc. And they're amazing. And they're finding out that they can grow different things in different regions. And they're still learning, kind of not like Napa Valley did for years. Yeah, sure. And I'm waiting to see what the next 10 to 15 years brings out of Argentina, because it's really amazing. Down there, they're completely different. Just like when I go to Oregon, when I go to Washington, when I go to Cali, people always have a different thing of, this is what we want to work on. Well, love it. But you know what? A lot of the masses don't get to see that, or get to see, the progression on where they're going. And that's where they're really going. I'm sorry, like I said, Christy, I get off on tangents, but
I know, right? Good God.
Alex and I were kind of geeking out. I was like, boom. So
I'm kidding. We love it, JD. We love it.
All right. But no, Don G.
No, you know what, JD, I have to say, I do really like this one.
Yeah, I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and if anybody, was that on the charcuterie, the salami with the pepper?
Yes.
If anybody has the charcuterie, the salami with the pepper on it, that is perfect.
Okay.
Liz and I both agree.
Yeah.
When I say this stuff goes with barbecue, it doesn't have to be like your traditional style of barbecue. Anything off a grill with a little bit of char to it is really good with this as well. I do love your idea, Christy, of ribs, though. Absolutely. Really, really perfect. Right up my alley, being a redneck from Texas with an education. Perfect pairing for me.
Redneck from Texas.
Oh.
That's where I get some of my accent from.
All of a sudden the accent came out thick as thieves. Oh, I like it.
So the pairing.
I love how Kate's like, the pairing is.
No, let's get to the pairing. The pairing is the Bellavitano espresso cheese from Wisconsin, cheddar cheese with the espresso rind. So
I love that cheese.
So I just tried it. I don't drink coffee.
Yes.
but it was really good with the wine.
And then I made her I didn't know she did like coffee. And I was like, oh, well, you need a piece with the coffee on it.
Yeah,
so I reached over and got Alex's, but she liked it.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like drinking coffee.
Yeah.
It's just.
It is like tiramisu.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different bottle.
Okay.
So what are the people saying?
Joy said Steve ate all of ours.
Attaboy, Steve.
Sydney says it was good with the cantaloupe and salami. Okay. Dylan says next week a slab of baby backs on the charcuterie plate. You never know, Dylan. You never know with this crew, like what's gonna happen. It could happen. So yeah. No, and Andrea says, ooh, daddy like on the wine. So those are Christy. Yeah. So
Andrea and Ryan are my boat neighbors. They've been in the yard for way too long, and they're about to get sprung after a year in the boatyard. So
Oh wow!
Nice.
we'll have a better update next Thursday. But
For them.
That's a nice one.
that is a nice cat. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. We're good. All right, Alex.
Let's
chop chop.
No, I can't. You pour. Come on.
I'm sorry, but right when you were saying that, ooh, daddy like is exactly when I was reading it. So it kind of hit me at the same time. And I was just like, you got me there. That was great.
This looks like something daddy gonna like too.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. So I know Steve over here, my buddy who we're supposed to come in meet at the beach at some time to have dinner, is gonna like this one. This is from CZ. We've done some CZ wines before, Convergent Zone, and they all have to do with meteorological phenomena.
Oh,
Well,
that's
Good
fun.
stuff.
It's too bad Mike McAleena's not on our.
Well, guess who's here? Kathy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, we
hey,
do have-
Kathy.
oh, sorry,
We have
Kathy,
another
that was-
meteorologist.
I mean, Kathy is an upgrade.
Yeah, she's like actually a meteorologist I trust.
Sorry, Steve.
Syrah.
Well, you said even one that you trust, but
She's
this
NASA.
is not necessarily named after meteorology. This is called Salmonfly. It's from the same place, and this is something they normally only do for their winery, wine club members only. They only make 72 cases of this. If you turn it around for me real quick, Alex, on the back, that is the most information, and that is all technical information. It's the most information in 25 years I've in the wine business and buying wines I've ever seen on a bottle of wine. They tell you anything and everything about this wine. I promise you. If you need more information than that, I don't know where you're going to get it. That's the winemaker coming to it.
We're gonna get it from you.
Oh well, yeah, but I'll give you that. Anything. Salmonfly is a Syrah that is absolutely beautiful. I like Syrahs because they have that kind of roasted meaty quality to it. And in that aspect, this one has got some higher elevation. Again, when we're talking about elevation, we talked about Washington a couple times. You go from beautiful snow-capped mountains to a little bit of desert within like 10 miles from each other. It gives good diurnal temperature change. And when I said that last time, I love the fact that I'm sorry. Steve got me. He goes, thank God, I now know the pH on this wine. Probably the only person that ever wanted to know the pH of a wine. So all about acidity. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, this wine has got exactly that. I always laugh because when I brought it in, people were like, Salmonfly. I was like, people around here love to fish. It's fun. They were like, they don't get to fish for salmon. I'm like, I promise you, being a fisherman, I want to know anything about it. I looked at it first and I was like, I've been fly fishing. Now, obviously not for salmon here. I have in Washington State before. But having that, being able to tie your own fly and be able to see that, everyone kind of geeks out if you look at that label. The best part about this is it's not just about a label. It's great wine. Syrah has this kind of rusticness to it, high acidity always. And with Syrah, you get a lot of times whole cluster fermentation. They don't pull out the stems and the seeds out of it. It gives it that acidic quality to it. In this case, it's not whole clusters. They pull the stems.
Okay.
They do leave the seeds because that gives it a higher quality of, or higher balance of acid to it. Syrah already has it normally, but when you get that green flavor of a seed, it changes things immensely. I like it because it's really smooth on the finish, and this is one of those ones that if you have this with anything from a light cheese to a nice steak, it's going to hold up to both, and it won't overpower. This is probably one of the most versatile wines we've had on this, or that I get to do on here. One of the most versatile wines that you'll have because it goes a little bit with everything here. Christy, I see a look on your face, Christy. What you going on over there?
Listen, on the nose, I think this is my favorite one on the nose. Like, it's so nice. Like, it, I don't pick up any like real crazy. It is. It's nice. But I will say I like this. And that like shocks me because usually we get on down the road here in the wine tasting. I'm like, Kate wine, Kate wine, Kate wine. But I like this.
You're welcome.
This is definitely a Kate wine. You were right. This is a Kate wine, but I thought that this wine would be one that would, bridge you two together. I mean, this could
be.
Yes. When we tasted it, did we not say that? You said that we were tasting it. You're like, this is definitely a Kate wine. I was like, I think Christy will like this too, though.
So. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I smell a little vanilla, but
absolutely. Where does the vanilla come from?
What?
I was trying to mess with Christy. I was like, where does the vanilla come from?
I don't know.
All about the barrel. It's all about the barrel. The barrel is what it gets. If you look on the back of this, I believe it's 20 months and 33% new oak.
Let's see. Yes, 33%, and yes, 20 months. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm smarter than I look. But what that does is when you get that new oak, that vanilla is imparted from that new oak. You get vanilla in different levels with tertiary, like we were talking about, but at the same time, this has got that little bit on the end that really finishes it well.
I'm sorry, JD. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead. What was your question?
These guys are in Washington State. Is it like Columbia River, or like where is this up there?
Well, this is they actually CZ has different properties in different places, but this property is down on the Columbia River. This is right outside of Horsehaven Hills. If you're familiar with the area.
So I know Yakima and Tri-Cities up there.
Okay. Well, this is a little bit west of that, and actually, kind of depends on where you're talking about there with the river. But it does one of these. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually been whitewater down the White Salmon actually from a trip that I went to Oregon with Elk Cove. I know you've done Elk Cove with Brandon before. So I mean, this has got that right amount of influence from the balance of the winds coming over the mountains there.
So you're well west of the Cascades. You've got that dry,
absolutely.
Yeah, dry air, but with the influence of the river, I guess.
Alex really likes to know where he is geographically.
I do.
I get it. I'm sorry. I was getting some reverb for some reason. I was trying to make sure that I heard you correctly.
Oh no!
Andrea was asking about Snoqualmie. No, it didn't close.
Are you still into plate tectonics?
I do like plate tectonics.
What did Andrea say? What did she say?
She asked Snoqualmie, which is a winery out in Washington State.
Oh yeah, that's.
I was like, no, it's not real close. In all honesty.
Yeah, that's where Ryan and Andrea came from.
So this is really interesting because Jo said she doesn't like Syrah. She told me that the other day, and I was like, "Yes, you do." And she just said, drink this, and she goes, "This one's for
I know. And then I saw her say, "I need an emergency delivery now, Kate."
Listen, this is JD. After a year of doing these wine tastings, you can't say that you don't like any wine. Like you don't like Chardonnay, you don't like Malbec, you don't like Syrah.
No.
Like you can't. I can't say that anymore because I'm like, oh yeah, well I like this one. Like,
Right.
there are
Well,
I
see,
like.
that's the beauty of things like this. Is because you get to branch out to people, you get to teach them a little bit about it, and they try wines that they don't necessarily think that they try because they say the same things. I don't like Chardonnay. I don't like Malbec. I don't like Syrah. I don't like A, B, or C. But then they get to try them here, and they try them in the right parameters, learn about it, get to try it with the right pairing, and they're just like, okay, I was wrong. Or maybe I was right on this one. And then I like this one like 6 months later. I think that's the fun part about these tastings.
Right. Totally.
So Alex is whispering to me, what's the pairing? What's the pairing? What's the pairing?
Oh my God, the pairing is so good. Already had
So the pairing is a little different on this one. Oh, that was just in my head over here. And this is the New Bridge port wine. So, you know, I feel like it's really easy to pair some of these cheeses with the wines and stick with the same ones all the time. You know, the Humboldt Fog, the St. Angel, you know, the Shantae, whatever. So, you know, we're going out here a little bit on a limb, and we're trying to do some different. So this is a port wine, and it's from Newbridge. So that's it really does have like that kind of cheddar flavor, but like creamy, a little creamy.
Yeah.
So
I really like that pairing. Are we to the, what's your favorite?
I missed I took my glasses off. I missed a bunch of stuff. I don't know that I can catch back
That's
up.
a great pairing, Kate. Good job.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. Okay.
Wonderful wine. I love. That's my favorite.
Which was your favorite, Alex?
The Syrah.
All right.
I'm partial to Washington State wine, so I love everything they do in that state. Really.
I really do too. I did a wine dinner last night over in Suntree, and the Cabernet that I was showing went over extremely well, and it was actually from CZ as well. And it's absolutely amazing that people were like, you know, I've never had a Washington Cab before. I'm like, what? You've never had a Washington State Cab before? I was like, look, Washington State is right up there for me. I mean, Oregon's not going to be making Cabernet anytime soon, I promise you. They do Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, great Riesling, don't get me wrong, but Pinot Blanc. But Washington State is someplace that a lot of people are going to see a lot more over the next few years. As we were talking about California earlier, the prices of California wines are going to jump exponentially over the next couple of years. And I promise you can take that to the bank.
Yeah, and it's going to give a nice opening to those Washington State cabs and Syrah and not so much Zinfandels, but what's the other big Merlots?
Merlot definitely out of Washington. Always one of my favorites.
Okay, so there are people like chiming in on their favorites. Jean, I don't know if this is Jean and Steve or just Jean, but she says for the Malbec, the Syrah. Oh, where'd it go? The Barbera, Lugana, Chardonnay.
Yep.
I agree. That's mine.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Joy and Steve, I think, says Malbec,
Okay.
Syrah,
Barbera.
Lugana, Barbera.
All right. Okay.
And Mary Falstrom says Syrah, Malbec, Lugana, Barbera, Chardonnay.
Oh.
Steve. Okay, so it wasn't Gene and Steve. So Steve's they're separate. So he says Malbec, Syrah, Barbera, Lugana, Chardonnay. Joe says number 5 was her favorite, which is a
Which is
Syrah
crazy.
that you don't like. And then Lugana. And Joy says Malbec was number 4. I'm not sure what that means, but
What
okay,
if
so
I blew me, not you? You think it took 5 minutes to put this body together? Poof. What is that?
What?
Do you see that?
Oh, that's her brother.
That's one of my brothers.
That's her brother that she's staying with. And
All right. I was like, what the hell was that?
Ignore him.
because he's saying he can't drink yet. He's mad at us because he has to go work out, and he's
Oh,
like, "What?
I got it.
Wait,
That's fine.
this body?" Yeah. So anyway, that's Ian. That's Liz's brother.
Oh,
But
That was weird, Ian.
Get it in.
so,
Get that pre-workout in.
so no, I want Liz to say like 2 things about her jewelry.
Please
Like,
do.
Grab some pieces.
JD, do you want to check off, or you want to hang out?
I want to hear about her jewelry.
All right, good.
yeah.
Let me go.
Okay.
Wow. So I don't really know what to say, except that most of my jewelry is made from silver. I use recycled silver, and I use stones that are ethically sourced. So I have some purveyors that I know I can trust that give me real turquoise, not composite turquoise, and it wasn't mined by small children.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And that's about it. I mostly use silver, a little bit of brass, sometimes some gold, and the best stones I can find that are semi-precious. I don't work with diamonds, sapphires, things like that.
Wait.
So
That's
all
it.
of Liz's jewelry is made like with love. Like it's very similar to our our philosophy here at GG&R. To care about where you get your product and and I don't know. I'm super. Her mom's a sculptor, and there's arts in the family. She's an author. Like I'm telling you, she's a chef.
Ian's
She's creative.
sculpting this body.
Ian's sculpting his body, before you drink, So anyway, yeah, but Liz's pieces are very original, and they're all handmade, and she puts a lot of effort into where she finds her pieces. So anyway, if you haven't been in the shop, we have some of her stuff in here, and we're super happy to have them.
Thank you very
Check it
much.
out.
Thank you.
It's called badass jewelry.
You should change
I
the
went
name
with that.
to Badass Jewelry.
I might do that.
BA.
What's the name?
It's Kur Jewelry, Kur,
Okay.
which was the name of the first dragon that was ever written about.
Oh.
First dragon. Ooh, I
Dragon.
love dragons.
You know, fire, metalsmith, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
love a good dragon story.
Cheers.
Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for coming, JD. Awesome.
Yeah, JD, it was really great.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Alex, good to see you. Hey, look, Kate, when I see you, we'll talk about the next time that we can do the educational thing.
Yes, let's do that. And also, I want to let you guys know quickly, we just got our license to pour by the glass.
Woo-hoo!
We're going to start a happy hour here. There'll be an email. Just look for an email. And we'll talk about, we'll do the other stuff later.
Yep.
So anyway, there's a bunch of
People
girls at
like
the door.
staring through the
Okay.
window.
All right. Cheers,
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Happy Thursday.
Happy
Have
Thursday.
Have a good week.
JD,
All right,
enjoyed
thank you.
it.
Alex, be good.
Yes,
really
great.
nice.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure.